By the time the Roerichs reached the Himalayas, many of the assumptions on which they had premised the Great Plan had been nullified. Roerich had imagined a white storm sweeping forth from Harbin, liberating Mongolia from communist rule and retaking Siberia and Central Asia from the Bolsheviks. After this, he hoped, Buddhists throughout Asia would confederate with his Altai-based Union of the East. Instead, the USSR kept gaining strength in Siberia, as evidenced by its reabsorption of the Far Eastern Republic in late 1922, and any realistic chance of white aid for Roerich had vanished by the end of 1923. No help was coming from Russians in France, and Chistiakov and Vladimir had drummed up only minimal support among Harbin's émigrés. Worse yet, China, in May 1924, would recognize the USSR as its rightful partner in co-administering the Chinese Eastern Railway, leaving Harbin's White Russians to exist in a state of hostile proximity with their Red rivals as the Soviet presence in the city increased. Small wonder, then, that with Lenin dead, Nicholas and Helena began to ask themselves whether the Russia enmeshed with their destiny might be Soviet Russia. Was it now possible that their theocracy-to-be could be diplomatically and doctrinally aligned with an atheistic state they had so deeply hated? Before they could answer that question, other priorities came first. Sometime in 1924, Roerich intended to present himself as a herald of Maitreya to the region's chief lamas and ask their blessing for his great plan. The disappearance of the Panchen, whom he had hoped to petition, made this task more challenging. But by adding extra unpredictability to a game whose rules were already in flux, it boosted the odds that Roerich, a new wildcard, might decide the final outcome.